Hey everybody. So I was in the middle of making a video. I was thinking about editing it up and all this stuff and doing all the planning when I'm like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to do it live. And that's what we're doing today. So as you can tell by the title, I am a little heated up just simply because I'm kind of getting sick and tired of how expensive kayak fishing has gotten. Now, if you're not a kayak fisherman, you don't care about it, you're probably not going to care about this video. But this is one of the things I do like to talk about because I primarily fish from a kayak. And what's kind of upsetting, no, first off, let me go ahead and set this up on this. Number one, this video is not a hit on, like you saw in the title, YakAttack and their products. I actually own some, very few, but some YakAttack products because they are good quality and they look good. But like the title implies, it's just too darn expensive. Most people can't afford that kind of stuff, especially if you just work a normal job. Another thing, this isn't an attack on anybody who chooses to buy YakAttack products. It is a hobby for most people, 99% of people. So if you want to spend your money on that, you are more than welcome to. And hey, I'll go ahead and applaud you for it. It's awesome. It's great products. It looks good. But once again, the point of this video is just it's too expensive. Kayak fishing in general has gotten too expensive. And the products that people are pushing out there, if you want some halfway decent quality products, the market is just oversaturated with super expensive stuff. It's either basically now DIY or buy the super expensive stuff. And with this invention of kayak fishing tournaments being what they are, we can get into a whole nother topic with that, which we will dive into a little bit. But number one, I just want to say hello. My name is Tim. This is Artillery Life. And yeah, so I don't normally do the live stream format. I like making videos. I like editing. It does take a while, but I'm just like, you know what? We're doing this one live. The goal of this is to kind of mention and understand why kayak fishing has become so much more commercialized. And let's kind of brain hash some ways of making kayak fishing a little bit more affordable, but at the same time, staying competitive, especially for those of us who like to fish in kayak fishing tournaments. If you didn't know, kayak fishing started out as really a poor man's sport. I remember when I got into kayak fishing some 10, 15 years ago, man, I can't honestly remember. But when I got into kayak fishing, I got into it because originally I wanted a boat and I couldn't afford it. Well, when I bought my cheapy kayak from Walmart and I ended up going around and actually seeing how much I enjoyed kayak fishing, I was okay, let's go ahead and upgrade. So I upgraded once. I think that was actually my review of that kayak was like my first video on here, which is kind of embarrassing to look back at and whatnot. But and then eventually I upgraded to a very expensive Hobie Outback, which I do enjoy and I do love, and great quality and all that. But when it comes to wanting to get good accessories, tournament fishing, things of that nature, it has just become so expensive in a sport that was originally meant to be a sport that was supposed to be inexpensive. Now, overall, yes, kayak fishing is always going to be cheaper than boat fishing when you account for maintenance and the cost of things and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, you know what boat stands for, bust out another thousand. So kayak fishing is always going to be cheaper almost no matter what. Especially if you're going to be a little bit more of a competitive fisherman. Moving on to our next topic, and I had to organize my notes here, so bear with me. But you know, kayak fishing just really started, it grown in popularity, but its growth has led to the rise of highly commercialized products, as we were talking about, and that's really what this is. And as you can see here, I have brought up the YakAttack website. Now, YakAttack themselves, they don't sell kayaks, but they sell accessories to kayaks, and I think this kind of gets back to the entire point of what I'm getting at is just how crazy it's been and how commercialized this is getting. So just look at some of these products. As you saw in the beginning right there, this was the product we featured, this Black Pack Pro Kayak Fishing Crate 16 by 16, $175. Now, I guarantee you this is probably good quality material. I have looked up some of YakAttack's material and whatnot. They use good stuff. It's not cheap. It's not going to break on you. So it is a quality product, but $175 for a box with fishing rod holders on the side. You know what I use? If you've seen some of my older videos, I've been using the same thing forever. I've been using a crate that I got randomly from work, a milk crate, and then I screwed on some rod holders that I bought at Walmart for like, I don't know how much they were, maybe 10 bucks or something. I can't honestly remember. But if you look at it, that's all this really is. It's an enclosed box with rod holders on it. No doubt that this is probably great quality, but once again, for $175, is this really something that most average people are able to actually afford? Yeah, I would say no. And I remember when this whole thing started, I was looking for a kayak fishing light, and I actually made a video on it 5 years ago. This was 5 years ago. It was one of the more popular videos I did. I made my own DIY kayak fishing light, and I went and paused it on this part of the screen because at the time, 5 years ago, I looked up how much a YakAttack because, like I said, their products look great, they great quality, all that kind of stuff. $90, $90 5 years ago for a kayak fishing flag with a light on it. It was ridiculous, and I couldn't afford it then. And honestly, I don't see myself paying for it now, even if though I make a little bit more money in my job. Go over today to what how much that is, and you'll see that it's jumped up about well, it's right at $95. So it jumped up about $5 in price. I it's just sad. It's sad to see how expensive it is. And this is something for safety. Like this isn't even like you want to show off kind of thing. It's a safety thing. So I'm and by the way, I am still using this DIY kayak flag that I made. It's working and it's working great, and I see no reason to go away from it. But you see the difference here with all these different products. I mean, just look at this different kits and trolley systems, things of that nature, and just look at how much money these things are. Cell block, $65. Insulated cooler with $50. That's not a horrible price actually when I think about that. Um, but even some of their other stuff, like I was looking at GoPro mounts, and ridiculously priced, and I didn't have it pre-put up, but let's go and just see GoPro. Let's see if they actually have it. There we go. Panfro fishing camera mount, $100 for a pole to mount your GoPro on. $100. I mean, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what normal people can afford that. Do I have $100 on me? Yes, I do. But do I have $100 that I can afford to spend on my hobby? No, I don't. Not when I've already invested what I have in it, when I have a family to feed and all that sorts of things. And so overall, once again, this entire thing is just basically predicated on kayak fishing has gotten expensive with their brands. Now, once again, I want to go over YakAttack. YakAttack is a leading company in the kayak fishing space. They have built a reputation on their high quality and durable products, which, like I said, I own some, and they're great. They're great quality. It's not cheap made or anything like that. I can attest to it. And this is once again not a hit on anybody who likes their products. This is not a hit on them as a company as a whole, but it's a hit on their prices. And honestly, making things out of reach and just raising all the expectations when it comes to kayak fishing. Uh, it's become almost a little bit too commercialized, and tournaments have a big deal with that. Now, I love fishing in kayak fishing tournaments. When they first started out with the catch photo release, I enjoyed it because I always wanted to fish in tournaments, but I don't have a boat. So I'm not going to be able to go to these tournaments where you throw a fish in the live well and then you go and you weigh in and all these things. The catch photo release was awesome. And I loved kayak fishing from the point because guess what? There is a little bit of a physical element to kayak fishing, whether you are paddling or whether you are pedaling, depending on the system that you have. And when you come up with something like KBF was allowing at one point in time, and I believe they still allow. I stopped fishing KBF, so I don't know anymore. But look at this. This is a Torpedo. This is a trolling motor made especially for kayaks. Look at that price. $3,000. $3,100 for a motor. It's the motor and the battery combined, it looks like. And it's ridiculous to me. The whole point of kayak fishing tournaments was that little bit of endurance that you can have, physicality, because let's just face it here, when you fish in a tournament with a boat, which I fished in a couple with some buddies of mine, and you don't have to really be in shape at all when it comes to fishing. Kayak fishing, though, it was nice because you did have to be a little bit in shape. That's not a hit on anybody else, but I thought it was awesome when it comes to that physical aspect of endurance. Me being active duty in the U.S. Army, I am all about physical capabilities and strength and whatnot. I think that's a really good thing to have. It keeps you healthy, keeps you motivated. Kayak fishing was one of those things. And now there's basically no difference between kayak fishing and boating when it comes to a tournament. When you have super expensive products out there like Torpedo, once again, and then you can go out and buy your own trolling motor if you wanted to for these that are much less expensive. But this one's specifically aimed at kayaks. It's endorsed. I remember seeing I can't even remember his name anymore because, like I said, I stopped fishing KBF, but the guy who runs KBF endorsing this, allowing it. I wonder why he started allowing it. They probably threw some money his way. That's probably what happened. That's what I'm going to go ahead and assume. I don't know that for a fact, but this is ridiculous. $3,100 for a trolling motor for your kayak, when the entire point of kayaking, once again, was pedaling or paddling. There may be some really hardcore ones out there who really don't even like the whole pedaling aspect of it. But I just thought it was overall ridiculous. And when you go through their entire catalog of products, like I was saying, it's just too expensive for common people. Once again, not a hit on people who buy it, not a hit on the company itself. They are quality products from what I have experienced. It's just getting too crazy. And even look at this new product that they have here, this new surf cart. I remember looking at the price, and I can't find it on here now. But there was a price that they had on here for this new surf cart, and I'm trying to see if I can find it and pull it up. But it was a ridiculous amount of money. It's like you can buy a kayak for the amount of money it cost for this surf cart. I'm not lying there. Something that you could make very easily on your own for, maybe 100, 200 bucks or something like that. I'm trying to see if I can actually find that cart. It is a brand new product. So I think they're taking orders, but they haven't yet released it out. We'll go ahead and put an end on that. Once again, that's all that I really wanted to talk about on this. And I was going to do it in a nice little documentary format, but I was like, you know what? Let's do it live. Let's just kind of talk about it. And then if anybody pops on, and I see a few people popping on here or there in the live stream, please, by all means, leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts. And for those of you who are watching in the future, which will be the majority, I encourage you, drop your thoughts in there. Am I crazy? Am I looking at this the entire wrong way? Or should we as a whole, as kayakers, people who love to kayak fish, people who love to kayak fish in tournaments, should we do something about this? As in, like, let's demand they lower their prices, stop buying the products, whatever the case may be, till some of these prices become a little bit more affordable for everyday people. Or maybe there's a company out there that I'm not tracking that is a little bit more affordable, that still has good quality products. Like I said, when you go get down to it, and you have things like GoPro mounts for $100 or a safety light with a flag for almost $100, it's ridiculous. And honestly, I don't think it's needed at all. Just scrolling through my notes because I didn't want to leave anything up. So once again, last couple things before I go off. I want to reiterate, this was not made to discredit YakAttack. Like I said, their products are good. They're just too darn expensive and needlessly expensive, in my opinion. And lastly, I do want you guys to share your comments on this because let us know. Is there other alternatives out there? Am I crazy? Am I spot on? Let me know what you're thinking in there. I appreciate all y'all for watching. If this does, if you find this encouraging, you like it, you enjoy it, please, by all means, like and subscribe. If you want to see more live streams as well, I'll go ahead and start doing that. I'm working on another video for a winter fishing lure, and for those of you who like the yard stuff, I'm working on a John Deere video right now as well. So those should be coming out in the normal format. I won't do live stream on those reviews because I think the reviews and tutorials are much better in that edited process. I'm not the most articulate when it comes to words, but I appreciate y'all's time, and I hope y'all have a wonderful one. And this is Tim, and I'll see y'all on the next one.